communication presentation.
Crystal, where she's going to tell you what you're saying without saying it.
Thank you. All right, now if you are ever in Columbia, for business or for pleasure, there are a few things you need to be aware of, such as local etiquette and hand gestures. As far as etiquette is concerned, men will normally shake hands with direct eye contact. It's very important. Whereas women will usually grasp forearms and shake hands. Business cards are usually exchanged, so be sure that you have a Spanish translation on one side because it's considered very polite to do so. Dining is typically very formal. In fact, most business meetings will take place over lunch. And by the way, the person who initiates the invitation normally pays for the meal. All your food should be eaten with utensils. It's considered polite to leave a small amount of food on your plate after eating, and to indicate that you are finished with your meal, place your knife and fork horizontally across the plate. Now keep in mind, it's considered impolite to talk about drug trafficking, politics, and religion, and especially do not make negative comments about bullfighting. This is very popular sport. And above all, try to avoid public confrontation. If mistakes are made, discuss them privately, as making a public spectacle can ruin a good relationship, business or otherwise. There are also a few hand gestures that you might be interested in knowing, and if you wish to indicate that someone is stingy, you'll tap the underside of your elbow with the fingers of the other hand. To say, "I'll be right back," you'll just simply make a circle in the air with your index finger. And if you wish to indicate that you're sorry, you'll stick your hand out as if you're waving and twist your wrist. Okay? And if you're making a bet, you'll generally link pinky fingers instead of shaking hands as we do here. Some impolite gestures that should be avoided include yawning, whistling, yelling to get someone's attention, and pointing with your index finger. And there are a few gestures that we commonly use here in the United States that should most definitely be avoided in Colombia, such as the thumbs up, which is basically the same thing as the middle finger here. The okay sign that we use here implies homosexuality in Colombia, so you don't want to go around doing that to people. It's really rude. And two pointing fingers that we would use to measure length, I've got it up there on the board right there. That's an obscene gesture in Colombia, so don't do that either. And my personal favorite, I'm a huge Longhorns fan, the University of Texas Longhorns gesture, go Longhorns, that's called the cornas in Colombia, and that implies that the spouse or partner of a person is cheating on the other. So I will be turning it over to Matt, and he'll be telling you about some more information.
Thank you, Crystal. What is music? Is it something you listen to when you're feeling down to uplift you? Is it something you listen to when you're at a family celebration? Is it weird? Yes, I said it, weird. Colombians believe that their music is weird. They call it the music of the weirdos. You will soon understand why. I will be zoning and focusing on 3 different genres of Colombian music today: cumbia, Colombian urban hip-hop, and Colombian pop. Cumbia is the oldest form of Colombian music. It's a mixture of African music, European and Spanish music, Caribbean music, and as well as American music. I believe that it's the Colombian version of jazz because it has a lot of instruments involved in it. It has drums, guitars, bells, anything you name it, it's in it. But right now, I would like to share with you a brief snippet of what a cumbia song sounds like. Alright, that's a brief snippet of what cumbia sounds like, and as you can tell, it can mix a whole bunch of the different native musics together. Colombian urban hip-hop started in the early 90s. What most people don't know is derived from 2 different locations. The first place in New York where hip-hop was born, it started there, and then Puerto Rico came and took it as their own and created reggaeton. And then Colombia, they decided, like, hey, I like reggaeton, and they decided to make it in their own and create Colombian urban hip hop. Colombian urban hip hop is pretty grim in tone. It's really dark and gloom. I'll let you all be the judge for this Colombian urban hip hop song. And as you can tell from that song, it mixes a lot of the African roots of Colombian music along with the Colombian Caribbean music. The last music genre I would like to talk with you about today is Colombian pop. It's the most globally recognized form of Colombian music. Does anyone here know the name of the artist who trademarked her seductive hip belly dancing?
Shakira.
Yeah, Shakira. Y'all are correct. Shakira, she came into the music scene when she was only 18 years old, and she didn't hit America until 2001, where she debuted her song Whenever, Wherever. This is a song that did okay for her, but her song Hips Don't Lie was a single that made her a Colombian worldwide phenomenon. She became the epitome of Colombian music. I thought this was a great way to end my portion of the presentation because it mixes all of the different music genres I talked about together into one song. I'm pretty sure y'all heard it before, but I'll play it for y'all anyway.
Play the video?
I wish I thought of that. Alright, that's Hips Don't Lie. That's her most famous single. As you can see, Colombian music is weird, but it's weird in a good way. It is very diverse and it's changing every day. And it mixes a lot of music together and is still growing. I talked briefly about the history of Colombian music. Then I went into detail about different genres, cumbia, urban Colombian hip hop, and I also talked about Colombian pop. Now I would like to give the floor to Ms. Jessica Ramirez, who will be concluding our presentation on Colombia today.
Now that you all have a better understanding about Colombia, culture, language, nonverbal communication, and music, would anyone like to venture a guess to the question I asked?
Christopher Columbus.
You were in the office this morning. Yes, you're right, but it's actually Cristoforo Colombo was his Spanish name. And Colombia is the Italian pronunciation of that, and that's how they got their name. And it's not to be confused with Colombia, which is spelled like this, which was actually a poetic name for the United States of America, before we became the United States of America. That ends our presentation for today. Thank you very much. Gracias. Adios.